They can be there for their children.
Because there's no, look, for me, going to Christmas concerts, it was difficult.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was so 85. By then we had the 4 motels, so Banjo Patterson, Motel 7, Forest Motor Lodge, and the Capital Hotel as it was then, and we still had the mobile service station in the city. It then seemed like a good idea that, I said, we've got a lot of investment in motels. Maybe I should balance the business by getting a bigger investment into fuel retailing. So in 1986 I bought Monero Fuel Supplies. Now that was a BP distributorship. It had a depot in Queanbeyan, Tumut, Cootamundra. There were service stations in the prize was Western Creek in Coolum Court, and it had Dallas Gas it was a private Dallas Gas in Canberra Avenue, which was just head leased from another family, the Desmond family, and we had the Jugiong truck stop. So we ran a roadhouse, and there were 2 small service stations in Tumut. So that was all under Monero Fuel Supplies. That was a big bite. I paid 7.5. I think it was 7.5 million.
Wow.
7.5, 7.25, something like that. And as I said, the prize in the whole business was the service station Western Creek, because it was freehold. It was head leased to BP. We delivered fuel to it. They actually used this in the I think at the Tech College or UC, they used this as the model of how to extract the most amount of money out of a piece of real estate. Because, as I say, we leased it to BP. BP then underleased it back to us as a commission agent and paid us a fee to handle the fuel. Part of it, we delivered the fuel to our wholesale business. Delivered the fuel to the real estate, to the property. So we got paid a delivery fee. And then, of course, we ran the commission agency, and we didn't make much out of the fuel, but we ran the shop, and it had workshops and so on, which again we rented out. I'm not a mechanic, so we rented all that out. So 86 to 88 was running that business, and it was a nightmare. Like we had 25 trucks. The actual operation of it wasn't difficult, but in the end, I had to get my dad just to be the debt collector.
Wow.
So we had three people in our accounts department. Everyone buys fuel on a credit account, especially in Fishwick. And so I said, Dennis, I've got $2 million in debtors, and we need to get it down. We used to buy the fuel on credit from BP, and on the 21st of every month, they just direct deposit payment out of your account. And if you didn't have the money, they stopped supply, like next day, like that day.
Yeah.
So
Dennis was your father, wasn't
he? He was my father. Yeah.
You used to call him Dennis?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Well, you can't work. You can work with your parents, but
Yeah, it's got to be separate.
It's business.
Yes.
It's just business.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I have the same thing with my children.
Yeah. I've noticed that.
So, so it was hard work, and that's probably when I started. I've always had this view that you have to have a touch point with every part of your business, and when it was just 4 motels, I'd make sure I'd go there every day. Might not be just to walk in and say hello, but of course when you walk in, the manager thinks you know what you're doing anyway. So but it was more important that they thought, oh, he's here.
Yeah.
And if he sees something, or you go, there's a paper there, or but of course it's the little things that count. So that's when I started. I used to have a weekly rotation. I'd leave Canberra at 5 in the morning because I'm used to getting up at 5:30 every day anyway. So what the hell?
Yeah.
So I'd leave here. I'd had an agent in Harden, and I'd get him out of bed at 6 in the morning. And he like in the middle of winter, he's going, I said, but that's all I could do. And then I had to go out to Cootamundra.
Yeah.
And I'd come back through Cootamundra up to Tumut, and I had the service stations there plus a depot. Like every one of these places has got 10 staff members. And then I used to get back to the Jugeong truck stop. There's no bank in Jugeong, so I had to come back to Jugeong, and then you do the weekly reconciliation of all the money and whatever. It was, there were credit cards back in those days, but it was a zip zap. So
Oh yes. Yeah.
But a lot of accounts and what have you. So then I'd pick that money up, and then it'd come back to the office, which was next to Dallas Gas and Fishwick. So that was my day. I used to get home about 10 o'clock at night, and then you get up tomorrow and do all the local stuff.
Again, yeah.
So in so as I said, by 87, 88, I had 380 staff, 4 motels, 5 service stations, 3 fuel depots, 25 trucks, and a video store.
So what were your business called? Because you were spread across a few things, right?
Back then it was called Morris Consolidated. Morris Consolidated was the head company.
Consolidated.
Yeah, and underneath that, each one had like Monero Fuel Supplies, the Canberra hire cars, and the motels were by their trading names. I couldn't believe my luck in 1988 when BP came to me and said, we want to buy back the farm. We're going to go into master franchises, and we want to put your business with the Cooma business, with the Canberra business.
So they already had?
Well, no, the Cooma business was run by a fellow called John Williams. There was Williams Brothers.
Yeah.
I had the Queen business. So they went that way to the mountains.
Yes.
I went that way to west. And there was the line. I didn't go as far as Wagga. Wagga was in part of Victoria, really. And then they had other business in Canberra, but it was company operated in Canberra because they used to deliver to all their other service stations. So we just had our contract to deliver to our service stations and a few others. Of course, I said to BP, they used to sell these businesses in cents per litre, and I said, no, I love this business. It's my whole life. I want to be the master franchise. And they went, no, we haven't selected you to be our master franchise. You're too much of a renegade. You've got too many other things on. Not that I wasn't good at towing the party line, but when I first bought the business, and you're buying a business based on profitability, and the profitability is driven by rebates from the oil company, the first thing they did was, if you can afford $7.5 million, your rebate's too high. So in 86, when I bought the business, the first thing they did was they chopped the rebates by a cent a litre. And when you're selling 200,000 litres, that's 20 million litres. That's $200,000. Just like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't play well with others, and if I could buy fuel, so I was buying a lot of fuel from Caltex because I owned the real estate, the pumps, the tanks, literally everything. And this was in Tumut, and we had a very good business up into the logging companies up in the mountains, and I just said to people, if you don't like it, just take your sign away because that's the only thing you own.
Wow.
So as I said, I wasn't anointed as one of their favourite sons. So I played the game long enough that they eventually bought everything but the BP service station at Western, which is what I always wanted to keep.
So you kept that one?
I kept that one. Yeah.
So when did you sell all that?
That was end of 88. I only had that business for 2 years, and basically just got my money back for that wholesale side of the business.
So you must have made a good amount of money in the buyback, right?
No, I basically got the money back that I paid for it. So I didn't make a profit, but I was happy to get out. But I think I got about $2.5 to $3 million back on that business, which meant I'd paid the valuation on the BP at Western was $5 million.